Hey everybody, welcome to part two of my stuttering question and answer video. If you haven't seen part one, go and check it out, and then come back here. um, okay. Have I always stuttered? And have you ever noticed how hard that it is on me to even say the dang word stutter? It's a sound, so I don't know why it would be so hard unless it's just some kind of a weird psychological thing. But okay, I'm kindly getting off of things here. Have I always stuttered? Yes, I have. Basically, from the time that I started talking as a kid, I stuttered. There was a time when I was very small that I basically almost entirely, if not entirely, stopped. I don't know the cause of that. I don't know, but as I started into kindergarten, it came back, and it's been here ever since. As a kid, on up into I guess on up into my late teens, I had a lot of speech therapy and stuff. And as a teenager, a therapist told me that if I still stuttered at the age that I was at then, that I would always have it, and that I shouldn't focus on trying to not have it, that I should focus more on stuff like controlling the head jerking and things to kind of help me handle myself out in the world better, and basically learn to live with it. And speaking of speech therapy, I was asked, have I ever had or thought about having a speech easy. If you don't know, that's a delayed auditory feedback thing that you wear it in your ear like a hearing aid, and it picks up everything that you say, and you hear it back in your ear as soon as it happens. it's based on the idea that they saw that if stutterers do things where they speak in a large group, like if you're doing the pledge of allegiance, you don't stutter, and so it puts your own voice back into your own ear. I've heard good things about them. I've heard that they help some folks, and I've heard that they help some folks at first, that then they build up kind of a tolerance to it, and they go back into stuttering. I've not ever had one, and I will probably not ever have one, just because they are kind of expensive, basically, and I'm almost scared of it, that I would get better and then I would get back into it, and I think that would just be hard to see what it was like to not do this and then to kind of have it just stuck back on me. I think that it would just be hard. But if I had one, I would do it and see, I'm sure, but I don't have one. And as I said, they are kind of high if you buy them, so yeah. This is kind of a good one. Somebody asked me, what is the best parts of having a stutter and the worst parts of it. The worst parts, there's a couple of them actually. For one thing, just in my day-to-day life, it makes everything harder. It makes everything take 3 times as long as it should. You know, if you just think about how many times you speak every day, just imagine if all those times that you speak, and it's something that you guys, you do it, and you don't even think about it. It's like your heart beating. You just do it, and it just happens, and it's not something that you think of in your mind, you know. But we talk a lot every day out in the world, and it just complicates everything. I mean, even if you don't think about, you know, my fear of being seen stuttering and stuff, it just complicates things. And of course, as I said, you know, the fear, that is the worst part of it. You know, I talked about the anxiety and the very first video that I ever did on here, and I have a hard time even putting it into words at how bad that it is, because even to call it anxiety, it's like that's still something that you can kind of push aside. But this is a thing that it's so deep in me that you can't just overcome it. Where it's like, okay, this is bad, but I'm brave, and I'm just going to just go through it and do it anyway. I mean, that's kind of what I'm doing here, but it's taken me a long time to even get here, and I still have a long way to go. I hesitate to use a term like PTSD, just because, I don't want to compare me having a hard time ordering a Big Mac to what somebody has seen in combat, or to what somebody has been through some horrible life or death ordeal. I mean, I've not had that kind of thing, and I don't want to kind of put myself on that same even with that stuff. But it runs that deep. Okay. This is a thing that it actually happened, and I kind of use it to show people how deep it is in your mind. It's been years back now. Probably it's been over 10 years ago. But and this is kind of a bad Tennessee stereotype, but I lived like 4 houses down from a meth lab, and one day the cops was called over there, and I don't know now what was over. It was like a big family brawl over there or something, like you see on cops, I'm sure. But when the cop came up on them, the head guy of the family, the dad of the family, he pulled a gun and he fired at the cop, and then he ran off into the woods. And I didn't know about all this going on. I just happened to just it's kind of funny in hindsight, but at the time it wasn't funny. But I just walked by, and I looked out my dang window, and I saw like 15 cops all hunched down and running up through my front yard. And I was like, what's going on? And so like a fool, I just kind of stood there and looked at them, and they saw me. And the guy they were hunting, he had a long beard, and I had one even back that long ago. And so you can probably guess what happened. It was you come out of the house with your hands up. and the whole thing, they had me laid down out on the front porch, and they had guns right in my face, about this far from my face, and they had lights in my eyes, so I didn't even see the guys. I just saw the guns, and they were all shouting and stuff. Which, I mean, the guy had fired at them, so they were all amped up and trying to be safe about it, I guess. But that would be terror. That would be a terrifying thing for anybody, and I was terrified. But at no point did I think about the guns in my face. At no point did I think about getting shot. The only thing that I was thinking about was, oh my God, they are going to ask me my first name. And I was so involved in worrying about them seeing me stutter that my fear of that was worse than my fear of getting shot. It was literally worse than my fear of being dead. Now, of course, after it was all done with, and I was back in the house, I thought, oh my God, that could have been shot, and my hands started to shake in and stuff. But during that time, I was just thinking, don't ask me my first name. That's how deep it is into my core. It's something that I think about every minute that I'm out of my house. Every minute of every day, I'm on the lookout, hoping that I don't make eye contact, or I'll get talked to. Now, the good thing about it, and I did have to kind of think about this, but anytime that a person has a thing like this, it makes the person more empathetic. If you have to deal with a stutter or anything that makes you different and looked down upon early in your life as an adult, you typically turn out to either be a complete psycho, or you turn out to be a really good guy. You have a lot of empathy, because you know how it feels to be hurt. It helps you to be a kinder person, and I think that I am a kind person, and I like that about myself. I'm somebody that my friends, if they have something they need to talk about, I'm who they always come to. Just because I do have all of this, some will say I have too much empathy. Two, if you kind of hang back and you keep it to yourself, it's not good for you. But you do kind of watch folks, and you see how they operate, and I think that I understand how people are. Like, if I meet somebody, I just know a lot of things about them. Now, I ain't any kind of a psychic or anything like that. It's just, if you are like I am, and you're so pulled inside yourself, people kind of forget that you're even there. And you see their real side more often than you would have. And it's kind of, if I meet somebody, I can see how their puzzle pieces fit. I understand them fast, and so that's a handy thing. I hope that all that made sense. It makes sense in my own head. You know, the stutter, it's made me more thoughtful and more introspective. And basically, for good and for bad, it's played a large part into making me what I am now. And I'm at an age, finally, where I like most of the things about myself anyway. I don't think anybody should ever like everything about themselves, but I feel more comfortable. And if I had it all to do over again, and it was up to me, and they would say, would you rather live your life with the stutter and be the person that you are now, or live it without it? I would probably pick to not I would probably pick to not have it, but I mean, duh. But I don't have that option, and I'm okay with that now. And so, finally, if I've spent my whole life hiding, why am I now doing this? The answer is, it's just, as I said, you know, the age that I am. I'm finally comfortable enough to be able to even do this. I mean, as a younger guy, I couldn't have. And you know, I am the 39 until this October, and I know that that's not old and too over the hill, but you know, my knees hurt, my back hurts, my dang hairs are coming out, and I just don't have the time or the care to even worry about what somebody might think about me anymore. You know, I'm at a point in my life where if I like something, I like it. If I want to do something, I just go and do it. If I don't want to do something, I don't do it. And that is true in all parts of my life, except for this one last thing. It's keeping me all tied up inside. You know, this is the one last little thing that I feel is holding me back now. And so the anxiety monster, it will always be in me. It's just a part of me. But these videos are kind of my attempt to Baba Duke it and to put the monster on a leash some. And I think I'm doing okay at that so far. And two, it seemed like it would be fun. I mean, that's really the main thing, is just to have fun. And so I kind of had the idea in my head, and I got a really good friend that I talked to about it, and you know, and she said, do it. And so I said, okay, I will. And I did, and here I am. And I am having a good time. And so that's it. If you guys actually watched all this stuff, thank you, because I know it's been long. I'm kind of tired out. So thank you, and I will see you guys all again soon. Bye bye.